inspired to go home and do your own research on this animal. And so, I need a drum roll from everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the amazing, minute, omnipresent, indestructible, ancient tardigrade. How many of you have heard of the tardigrade? The tardigrade is indeed one of the world's most interesting little creatures. Now, this might give you a hint of how it looks, but I'm not going to show you quite yet. I'm going to let the suspense build while I tell you a couple of things. First of all, in the animal kingdom, there are only 36 phylums, and yet the tardigrade has its very own. How special is that? Its very own phylum, Tardagrade. It's not a mammal or a bird or a reptile or a worm or any of those things. There are a little over 1,000 species of tardigrades, and they're finding more every day. Okay, one more fact before I reveal it to you. The tardigrade is very tiny, so you don't need to have nightmares about him. You see here, under a microscope, a grain of salt is square, since it's a crystal, and if it were this big, then the tardigrade would be that big. So the tardigrade is not even visible to the naked eye. All right, here we go, Mr. Tardigrade. Ooh, is he scary? Maybe he's cute, or is he just sort of weird? Well, the tardigrade, he has a definite head, and he can sort of some eyes, and then he has 4 body parts after that. On the end of each, well, these are his legs. On each segment, body segment, he has 2 short, stumpy, jointless legs, so he kind of walks like this. But on the end of each of his legs, he has a claw, 4 to 8 claws, and some of them just look sort of like bear claws, but some of them look a little like a medieval weapon. And he has a mouth, a pretty strange mouth. This is a sucking device, and this is biting, because he bites on to the leaf or the animal he's going to eat, and then he sucks out its innards. He likes to eat bacteria and moss and lichen, but again, like I said, some species do eat live animals, little tiny ones, even other tardigrades. They're cannibals. Let's look inside our tardigrade. The tardigrade has no heart and no lungs. He doesn't need a circulatory system or a respiratory system, because as you see, his body is one big open cavity so that gases and nutrients can get to all of his 4,000 cells without one of those systems. However, he knows what's important because he has a digestive system. Here's his esophagus and his stomach and his intestines. And he also has a brain, a very big brain actually for this little tardigrade. And he has a nervous system, and he's got some muscles, and of course he has a reproduction system. So he's a pretty interesting little character. The tardigrade's favorite places to live are in your backyard. In moss, in some leaf debris. They like water, they like mossy stream beds. However, they are found on all 7 continents, even Antarctica. Now, I've told you a lot of interesting things about the tardigrade already. However, I haven't told you, I have reserved the most interesting thing. This tardigrade can survive extremes of lots of things. He can survive extreme heat, like being boiled in water, or being buried under desert sands. He can survive extreme cold, like mountaintops, like icebergs, like colder than it ever is on Earth. It can only be created in a lab. He can survive extreme pressure, like 6 times deeper than the Mariana Trench. He can survive no pressure. In 2007, many tardigrades were sent up into space where they were exposed to the no pressure of space, radiation, starvation, solar winds. they still came back not only alive, but reproducing. So you say, okay, how do they do this? How could they possibly survive all those things? Well, they have a few tricks up their sleeve. The first thing that they do is they curl up their little legs, curl down their little head into a little ball, and then they expel virtually all the moisture in their body. Then they slow their metabolism down so you would think they were dead. And then they're just a little speck of dust. And they get blown lots of places. But then, when the climate changes or the situation changes, and they are in a place that's good for them, they uncurl their little arms and legs and pump up their bodies with water and start their metabolism and go about their business of eating and sleeping and whatever else. And they can do that over and over again. So in the regular tardigrade state, they only live like 5 months. But as a ton, and as a regular and then a ton and then a regular and then a ton tardigrade, they can live for decades, a long, long time. They do something else that's very interesting, and that's one of the things that scientists are particularly studying, is when they're in that ton state and there's hardly any water left in their body, then they have a special protein unique to tardigrades that turns the little bit of water left in their body into a kind of glass that surrounds their DNA and their body systems and protects it. So if scientists could find that out, that would be really exciting for mankind. Now for you, if you go out in your backyard and find some moss and maybe look at it underneath a microscope, you might find your own pet tardigrade.